Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the Ephrata Community Church weekly podcast. Conversation with our pastors and leaders meant to continue encouraging you to know God, know freedom, know purpose, and make a difference.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I say afternoon because I know that's when it gets posted here, but I'm not quite sure what time of day you're listening to this or watching this. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us a few minutes. Kevin Eshleman here with
JV.
Yeah, Josh Vanderplate. Glad to be with you.
It's Christmas week.
Hard to believe.
I know.
Oh, not for you. I mean,
Not
you've
for
been
me.
counting
It's been
down.
like since July, August, I've been counting down with eager anticipation, and it's here.
I want you to know that before we kind of went live here, we had a very in-depth, significant conversation about what is your favorite Christmas cookie.
Yep.
And so I'm kind of thinking initially like there's too much to choose from, so I'll just kind of have a little bit of all of them. But chocolate chip is good. Stephanie makes these ones that are peanut butter, and then she puts a peanut butter cup in the middle of them.
Yeah, those are good.
But then we had a little bit of a revelation about
Well, so my favorite cookies are the thumbprint cookies, and the ones that have a little bit of like raspberry jam in it, and the peanut butter blossom with the Hershey Kiss. And Kevin says just off the cuff, unless you live like in this area around Lidditz, when you could put a Wilbur bud in it. Yeah. And I'm like, what? I have never in my life thought about doing that. Why haven't I? Because Wilbur buds are incredible. So here's to a couple days left.
Yeah, that's right. We can make them.
We can make them with Wilbur buds. That would be incredible.
Yeah, wouldn't you agree that the difference between a Hershey Kiss and a Wilbur Bud is
the cost?
Wilbur Buds are
okay, no.
But the Wilbur Buds are a little bit smaller.
Yes,
but they're a little bit more dense.
They are dense, and so like they last longer.
Okay,
because I don't chew it. I just suck it. It's wonderful. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Oh, I like dark.
Yeah,
because at least you have the image of it's a little bit healthier for you.
That's right.
So it's at least
that's right.
Like this is really not bad for me.
Not
it's
nearly as awful when I'm eating 17 of them in one setting. Okay.
Right. And it's Christmas, and please remember that the season of prayer and fasting is coming up soon.
That's right. I take consolation in that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I've been a pastor for 25 years, and one of the challenges that Christmas brings is, for believers, it's like, man, you've heard it.
Yeah.
You've heard the text before. You've heard the prophetic words before. And so we go into this Advent season with like a significant reliance upon the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Like, God, you need to give fresh revelation of this old story.
That's right.
And I feel like God has done that this past 4 weeks. And I'm believing he's going to do that in the next couple of days in our Christmas Eve services as well. And so I don't think you want to give too much away about what's coming.
Sure.
So what kind of hints do you want to give about what's coming the next couple of days?
Well, we have been looking forward to this for a long time. And like you say, Kevin, these are the same songs and the same story and the same narrative. And yet, by the grace of God, he just breathes on those pieces and even just kind of weaves together the story of this year. And so our whole Advent theme this year was peace on earth and the great need for that in the midst of 2020. Yep. And so like we're continuing that theme for the Christmas Eve services. There's 5 of them. And throughout every one of them is woven the story of the peace that Christ brings. And there is the old and the ancient that we're going to be singing and participating in. And I would say there's just a simple elegance to what we're going to be sharing in together.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's some unique parts, some surprises, one in particular that no one will be prepared for. And I mean, no one except the kids. Kids, if you're watching or you guys know there's a surprise coming.
They probably have already told their parents?
They probably have already told their parents. But there's a few little secret elements. But all in all, it's just going to be a really simple and elegant time of reflecting and really inviting the peace of Christ in our hearts and in our homes and in our communities through this season.
Yeah, I was thinking about, Christmas Eve services at Ephrata Community Church have become a bit of a tradition.
That's
but
right.
It's a relatively recent tradition. It's been about 10 years since we began doing this. And each year has a bit of a different flavor. Some have been complex, that took lots and lots of hours to build. And even this year, as we were thinking about Christmas Eve and what we would do, this is back in August or so, we felt like, man, we need, and the folks, everybody needs Christmas.
We do.
And so recognizing that it's different, we felt like we needed a return. So you mentioned like the simplicity of this Christmas service, that we have to recognize, just sit in that simplicity. And in the midst of a time when everything has changed, it seems like, there are things that remain the same.
Yeah, that's very true. And we also recognize that as we were kind of approaching this, that it might be good just to recenter ourselves on the simplicity of it. Because this year has been so much of chaos and disorder, or at the very least, anything that was routine or kind of ordinary got shaken.
Yep.
And yet here's this kind of plumb line that's been established now, that every year we kind of recenter our hearts, recenter our families around the simple gospel and celebrating the arrival of Jesus' birth. And so we've kind of framed everything around that. And my heart, even though there's kind of 1,000 spinning plates over the next 2 days, is that by the time even I land at that first service, that my heart can be centered on the precious gift of Jesus' birth.
Yeah, exactly. And what a great opportunity that the current situation has forced us just to return to that simplicity.
That's right. Yeah.
Where you push out everything that's unnecessary and you return to that. And it's just a great opportunity.
Yeah, it really is.
In that way.
And I like what you said. I mean, the Lord has given us an opportunity, I think, even to receive the gift in a fresh way this year. Yeah. Something about having to walk through all of the heartache and the trials of this year, it certainly for me makes me all the more grateful to celebrate and all the more, I think, just like heart ready to receive that gift.
I think one of the things we don't want to forget, both in this past weekend, some things we did this past weekend, as well as head into these Christmas Eve services, is as followers of Jesus, we are not the only ones that are returning to that place. And true. I feel like it's a fantastic opportunity for us to minister to our community as people even personally reflect back and, hey, where's my life? Where's my life going? So if you're not a regular church attender, man, we just want to invite you to be a part of that. You can just simply come as you are. No expectation, just come and just sit in the midst of this, all that we're celebrating. You're going to be hearing the Word of God. You're going to hear it spoken. You're going to hear it sung, and you'll get to participate in that. You'll have times of reflection, and it's a great opportunity. So for those of you that are followers of Jesus Christ, come. For those of you that are not, please know that you're welcome. Yeah. For those that are followers of Jesus, I would ask you to be especially alert to people that are around you, and people are. There's a depth of consideration of what is life, and in a time when everything has been shaken, there's a depth of consideration of what is that cannot be shaken, and what an opportunity we have just simply to say, hey, come and just hear about those things that never ever change and never will change, no matter what.
You know, one of the songs that the children are singing, it's an older song, but one of the first lines in it is really simple. It says, tears are falling, hearts are breaking, how we need to hear from God. Yeah. And with the final line over and over, welcome to our world. And that is the invitation to everyone who's watching and to your neighbors and to our community. Tears have fallen this year. Hearts have broken this year. And there's a great need to kind of gather together and to receive that gift. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know both for us as a congregation as well as individuals, we look at, okay, this is the season that we're in. We're heading into Christmas, but Christmas will come and go.
Yeah, it will.
And it'll be back next year.
Yeah.
And again, just like this Christmas is different than last Christmas, next Christmas will be different than this Christmas. That's just kind of how life goes. But we are looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's some great things planned for January as we dig deep into all that God has for us. And looking forward to, I'll be sharing during that time. Wes will. Then we have a couple guests coming. Andy Bird will be with us, part of the Circuit Riders YWAM. And that's right. I forgot. You know Andy Bird from
Andy and I are good
back.
friends. Yeah. Kevin comes in and says, hey, do you know Andy Bird? I was like, do I have a story for you, actually?
Right.
So I'm really excited that Andy's going to be coming, and that's in the middle of January.
Right.
He'll be here with us.
Yep. And then we have, following that is our annual prophetic weekend, where just coming out of a season of prayer and fasting, we're going to be expecting God to speak to us very clearly as a congregation. Yeah. And he's going to speak to us as individuals as well. Looking forward to a great time of ministry. Yeah. And then beyond that, and even as part of that weekend, Bob Hazlett's going to be with us. He's been speaking some significant prophetic words into us as a congregation for the course of the past 4 or 5 years, and really looking forward to having him with us. But in the meantime, it's still Christmas.
It's still Christmas. 3 days to go. So we really hope that you'll be able to join us for any one of our 5 services. Yeah. If you haven't already registered, we'd encourage you to do that. And that's just helping us to kind of share the joy across all those different services. So this Wednesday, tomorrow, the 23rd, we have 2 services, 5 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Yep.
And then also Thursday, we have a 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 7 p.m. service. Right. There you can just kind of register, say, hey, I'm going to be here. you can also say, I think I'm going to be bringing like 27 of my closest friends or however many you might have. So that'd be great. All the information's on there as well. I would encourage you, this past Sunday, we did something for the first time as a church family, and we had a service of remembrance, which was a really precious time to reflect on not just the last year, but maybe over the past couple years for families, individuals who have lost loved ones, specifically through this COVID season, but also over the past number of years, where we just reflected on the gift that their lives were to us. And that, if you missed it, is still available on our website and on Facebook. You're welcome to go on there and watch that as well. It was a really sweet time together.
Yeah, it sure was. It was a wonderful time, like a great time of ministry. And sometimes when you just simply acknowledge something, like our acknowledgement opens the door for God to come and minister. So in that service, it was an acknowledgement of the loss, even in the midst of joy. I just think God just met people and ministered to a whole bunch of people. So we're looking forward to the next couple of days. And again, we've done our best to say, okay, what's it look like for us? With some adjustments to still have Christmas the way it needs to be. So friends, there are cookies. And maybe somebody would experiment with those Wilbur buds.
Maybe we could encourage them to do that yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also candle lighting, and we're just doing that all in a way that's safe and responsible. And we're just looking forward to celebrating together. Hopefully you can join us and be part of that. Thanks so much for being a part of this. Look forward to seeing you next couple of days. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you, Josh.
Thank you too, Kevin. Hey, thanks again for joining us today. We hope that you've been encouraged by listening and that you'll join us again next week. You can listen to previous episodes, find additional resources, and of course, learn more about us by visiting ephrotacommunitychurch.com.